Hello, I'm Rick Hill. Thank you for joining me for Godly Play. This week, the story is about a man that's very important to God. His name is Moses. Moses is also very important to the people of God. Many years had passed, and a new Pharaoh came into rule over Egypt. Now, this new Pharaoh did not know Joseph, and he did not remember the good things that Joseph had done for Egypt. The people of God became slaves for the Egyptians. The people of God became trapped. They were not able to get away and to go home. The people of God became so many that the Pharaoh started to worry about them, afraid that they would take over his kingdom. So the Pharaoh made a rule, and he said, "You will need to kill every boy." Now one of the mothers built a basket out of bulrush woven together, and she put her baby boy in the basket, and she hid the basket in the reeds along the Nile River. Pharaoh's daughter saw and heard the baby, and she took the baby out of the basket, and she said, "I will name him Moses." So she raised Moses in the palace. Moses grew to be a young man, and one day, as a young man, he saw one of the Egyptians beating one of God's people. And it made Moses mad, and he ended up killing the Egyptian man. Moses then had to run away. So he went far, far away through the desert. And he ended up living with a family of Jethro. And he ended up marrying one of Jethro's daughters, Zipporah. And he raised a family. And for Jethro, he was a shepherd. He took care of Jethro's sheep. And he lived with them for 40 years. One day, he took the sheep to the mountain of God, Mount Sinai. When he was there, all of a sudden, a burning bush, appeared before him. The bush was on fire, yet it was not burning up. And God spoke to Moses out of the bush. And God said, "I have heard the pleas and the cries of my people in Egypt. And I need you, Moses, to go to set my people free." Moses said, "Who am I to do such a thing?" God said, "I will be with you." Moses said, "Can't someone else do this?" And God said, "I need you to go, and I will send with you your brother Aaron, and you will set my people free. Your brother will help you, and he will speak for you." So Moses and his brother Aaron went back to Egypt. And they went and asked the Pharaoh to set the people of God free. The Pharaoh said, "No." Moses asked again, and again to set my people free. But the Pharaoh said, no. Some terrible things started happening in the land of Egypt. And once more Moses went to the Pharaoh and said, set my people free. And this time Pharaoh said, yes. So Moses, with the help of God and with the help of his brother Aaron, gathered the people and they fled Egypt. And they crossed through the ocean, through the sea with God's help. And they escaped into freedom away from Egypt. Now Joseph led the people through the desert. When they were hungry, God provided quail for them to eat, and manna, which is a type of bread for them to eat. The people grew thirsty, and they grumbled and told Moses. But God told Moses, strike the rock with your rod. So Moses did. He struck the rock with his rod, and water flowed from their stone. And the people drank, and they were no longer thirsty. So they had food to eat and water to drink. Now Moses led them through the desert and led them back to the mountain of God, Mount Sinai, the place where he had talked to God in the burning bush. But this time, Moses went up to the mountain, to the top of the mountain, to Mount Sinai, to speak to God. Well, the people waited, and they waited, and they waited, and Moses didn't come back. So they were beginning to worry about him. And the people said, we need someone, a God, to guide us, to help us out of here. So they asked Aaron, Moses' brother, said, build for us a God so that we can be led by this new God. Aaron took the gold that the people had, he melted the gold, and he formed the melted gold into a calf, a golden calf. The people built an altar and they worshiped the golden calf. Now Moses came down from the mountain, and he had 2 tablets with the 10 best ways to live that God had given to Moses to give to the people. And Moses' face shone as he was coming down from the mountain because he had spoken to God. But when he saw that the people were worshiping a golden calf, he got angry. And he broke the tablets. And he threw the golden calf into the fire. Well, the people really felt sorry now that Moses was back. So they apologized and they asked for forgiveness. And Moses and God gave 2 new tablets with the 10 best ways to live to the people. God said, I need you to build a box out of gold. This will be an ark that will hold the tablets, the 2 tablets with the 10 best ways to live. And it'll have poles on the sides so that people can carry it with them wherever you go. You will always have the 10 best ways to live with you. So they built the ark, and God showed Moses a way to build a tabernacle, a tent that would cover the ark. And this would be a holy place that God would be with them. And they could go there to worship God in the tabernacle. Moses led the people through the desert, and they came to a new mountain, a different mountain called Mount Nebo. And there they looked from the top of the mountain, and they could see the land that God had promised them. Now, earlier, God had gotten mad at Moses. He had told Moses, "You will see the land, the promised land, but you will not be able to go there." So when they saw the promised land, Moses directed his people to go to freedom, to the new promised land, but he would not join them. And so Moses died. But the people went to the promised land and lived there in happiness and in freedom. I wonder, what part of this story is the most important? I wonder, have you ever gotten angry and ended up breaking something? I wonder, have you done something that you didn't really want to do? I wonder if you could be a part of this story. Thank you for joining me for Godly Play. I hope that you have a wonderful week. I look forward to being with you again next week.